God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Amen. Amen. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. Mo was a Christian inmate in a maximum security prison and a very substantial fellow. While Mo did not quite meet the requirements of a sumo wrestler, he became close enough to command a great deal of respect. For all his size and strength, he had lost virtually all his front teeth. When Mo volunteered to provide special music for a seminar, a former member of our church and prison ministry colleague introduced Mo to the audience. Now let's see, what number is Mo going to sing for us? Right, anything he wants. Now here was a man of great strength, a man most inmates would not wish to challenge or offend. Because of his strength, he could do anything he wanted within the limits of the prison system. The power and raw physical strength of an evil man is a frightening reality, but the power of a good man is comfort. Think about that in relation to God for a moment. How do we view the power of God? This would be the time that Jesus backed up here. Okay. God can do anything he wants, at any time he wants. The question is what he does good or evil? Well, of course, we'd say it's good. Theologically, it's good. But when we look at things in our lives, sometimes we have reason to question that. Maybe I shouldn't say we have reason to question it, but we do question it. Think about this. Does the idea of being completely subject to God comfort you? Or does it frighten you?
Yes.
Yes, comfort?
Oh.
Oh. That's a good answer, actually. Good. I don't know how to respond to that. There must be something clever I can say, but nothing comes to mind. You got anything, Rick? The goodness of God, there's a lot of this movement out here. Good for you. The goodness of God is one of those things that we happily affirm when everything's going great. But it's kind of tricky when things aren't going so well, isn't it? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to my friend? What are arguing about this? How do we reconcile God's goodness when things are going badly in our lives? Is he really good? Is he really good all the time? Is he good during a tornado? Or during a hurricane? Or during an epidemic? Is he good when marriages and lives are being torn apart? And the answer, of course, is yes. The Bible tells us that the goodness of God is one of his attributes, as well as a description of his very essence. God is love. And love is good. I think we would all agree with that. Even the most hardcore atheist would agree that love is better than hatred. Doing good is better than doing evil. God, by his nature, is inherently good. Psalm 34:8 tells us that to taste and see that the Lord is good, blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. In Psalm 145:9, the Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made. Notice there's no distinction here between the saved and the unsaved. God is good to all. James 1:17 says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. God does not have a personality issue. He does not change personality. He is not bipolar. He has always been the same. He always will be the same. He's not angry one day and happy the next. Now, where do we get the perfect revelation of the Father? The person of Jesus. Jesus said, when you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And if there's any aspect of our theology that is contrary to the character and the nature of Jesus, we really have a reason to question that. Look at the way Jesus interacted. He never turned anyone away. He healed everyone who came to him. He was kind, compassionate, loving. Even when he's tired, he's probably exhausted after ministering all day. I don't remember which story it is, but they cross the lake and they land there, and Jesus just wants to get away and rest with his disciples. He still ministers to them. He still stops what he's doing and ministers to the crowd who ran around the lake to meet him there because they didn't know he was coming. That is the true picture of the Father. When we see Jesus, we see the heart of the Father. And Jesus' revelation of the Father was not one of a taskmaster. It was not one of a lawyer or even a general leading an army. It was of a Father who loves us, who loves everyone that he has created. There are a lot of disasters in the world. We have seen so many disasters in the past 10 years. Tsunamis, the tsunami in Japan, one in Southeast Asia, killing hundreds of thousands of people. I believe there was 200,000 people killed in that tsunami. That's an unbelievable number of people. We have earthquakes. We have Hurricane Katrina. And I heard well-meaning, loving Christians say, well, that was God's judgment. How do we reconcile Hurricane Katrina, or what's going on in Louisiana right now, with God's goodness? Would God judge, let's say Louisiana, for example, and just kind of kill Christians as collateral damage, hurt them, destroy their lives? It doesn't make sense, does it? I've struggled with this myself for many years. Is this judgment? What is it? Why is this happening? And I've come to the point where I understand that God is good in all situations. Why are these things happening? Well, number one, we live in a world that's filled with sin. As sin increases, the earth is going to react more violently. Paul tells us that there's this connection between humanity and the earth. And the more this sin increases, the more the earth, if you will, revolts and reacts violently. And there certainly is an increase in the amount of sin in the world. In today's gospel, we see a good picture of the heart of the Father. Jesus goes to a Samaritan village. He's rejected. James and John. This is the same John who wrote the Gospel of John, the one who wrote the epistles, John's epistles, who says God is love. He's known as the love gospel. They look at Jesus and say, Jesus, they want us to call down fire on this village and destroy it because they rejected you. And Jesus rebukes them. Rebuke is kind of a strong word. That means Jesus had a little bit of an attitude about it. He says, you don't know what spirit you're of. In other words, I came to reveal the heart of the Father. The heart of the Father is to save these people, not to destroy them. And of course, we have the Old Testament that we have to deal with. You know what? Why was all this stuff going on in the Old Testament? Why was there so much destruction and anger, etc., etc.? Well, as I've said before, the Old Testament is there. The law was there to reveal the seriousness of sin. Because each one of us deserves eternal death. Without Jesus Christ, that's exactly what we get. But the New Testament, Jesus coming, reveals the power of love. Love versus sin. The power of love to overcome sin. And in today's epistle, James tells us that mercy triumphs over judgment. God wants to have mercy more than he wants to execute judgment. Don't get me wrong, there will be judgment for those who have not received Christ. And it will be a horrible thing. Horrible thing. But for those who have received Christ, we need to worry about that. But it is God's desire to save the world. It is God's desire that every person on this earth come to Him. God is a loving Father who wants to work in and through and with His people to display His goodness. That's one of the church's jobs. He is a patient, merciful, loving, and kind God. And I'm glad He's patient. Personally, I'm very glad He's patient. And He wants to move in us and through us and with us more than we ever thought possible. What's your biggest dream? Think of your biggest dream in your life, or your biggest dream for the church, or whatever. God's dreams are bigger than that. He wants to do so much more, and He wants to do it through us. And it's His kindness, not His judgment, that leads people to repentance. His kindness leads us to repentance. He wants to demonstrate His goodness to the world, to bring the world to repentance. Think about it. How far do you get when you witness to someone, when you tell people about Jesus, if you're sticking your finger in their face and telling them that they're a sinner and they're going to hell? It's not very effective, is it? But if you tell them and show them God's love for them, His personal, intimate love for them, that He wants to know them, it's something they can relate to. The God, the creator of the universe, knows everything, created everything, controls everything, makes sure everything doesn't blow apart, loves this person with everlasting love, enough that Jesus died for him, her, you, and I, even while we were still sinners. Jesus said that the Father makes the sun rise on the evil and on the good, and send rains on the just and the unjust. God is good, even to those who have not received Christ. He has no desire to sit in heaven and to smite people because of their sin. That is not His nature. God is as good as He is holy. And we should have no doubt about this. And when things go bad in our lives, we turn to Him. We rest in Him. We may not understand what's happening or why it's happening, but we can still trust in the goodness of God. That's who He is. God is not good some days and bad others. God is good all the time. All the time. In today's psalm, the Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. He is good to all, and His mercy is over all that He has made. When we say the psalm, we kind of blow through those, don't we? Those lines. They don't really, I don't think they sink in. It's not for me. We kind of recite it. The Lord is gracious and merciful, full of grace, full of mercy, slow to anger. In other words, a lot has to happen before He gets kicked off. There's a lot happening in the world. If we look at a God who judges, I would think that the results would be a lot more catastrophic than that. I think God is showing mercy now. Judgment will come. Don't get me wrong. But He's showing a lot of mercy and a lot of restraint with everything that's going on in the world. He is good to all. All. Not just believers. Not just those who measure up. Not just those who perform. It's not about performance. He's good to all. And His mercy is over all that He has made. things happen, why doesn't he stop them? So we talked about this a few minutes ago. In our nation, we have come dangerously close to the point where we have told God that we don't need him anymore, that we don't want him anymore. Go away. Get out of our schools, get out of the public arena, get out of our government. He will do as we ask. And when he does, he removes his hand of protection. And that's a dangerous place for us to be. And when he lifts his hands of protection, we encounter more what the insurance companies call acts of God. I maintain they're not acts of God, they're acts of Satan. It's Satan who wants to destroy. It's God who wants to preserve and love and show mercy and goodness. God gave us free will to do good or to do evil. And he honors that commitment. He won't interfere with our free will, except in extreme cases like Paul. You know, Paul's riding to Damascus. God knocks him down on his horse, shakes him up a little bit, changes the world. 99.9% of the time, we are able to exercise our free will. He will not intervene except through the intercession of his people. That's why prayer is so important. And remember, it's not the judgment of God that needs people. Yes, it's not the judgment of God that needs people to repentance. The goodness of God. Bill Johnson said that his goodness doesn't come with small print. There's no clause, there's no or clause in the goodness of God. In Ephesians 3:20, we read, "To him who is able to do far more abundantly than we can ask or imagine." That's a lot. I can ask or imagine a lot. His goodness is far above what I can ask or imagine. He is good beyond our comprehension, and he wants to pour that goodness into us and into our lives. In Hosea 3:5, we read, "Afterward the children of Israel shall return and seek the Lord their God and David their king." And this is the highlight of the verse. "And they shall come and fear to the Lord and to his goodness in the latter days." You see what that says? People will fear the Lord because of his goodness. His goodness will be so apparent and so lavish and so abundant that nations will fear the Lord. I look forward to that day. So in closing, I encourage you to explore the goodness of God. When there's trouble in your life, get along with it. Get in that secret place. Lord, reveal your goodness to me. What's going on here? Why is this happening? Is this an attack of the enemy? Is there sin in my life that is allowing this in? What is it, Lord? Show me your goodness. I want to experience it. I just don't want to see it. I want to experience it. God is not the author of evil. But often, the world in particular attributes the evil things in the world to him. Very quick to attribute the evil things of the world to him and take credit for the good things. Our faith is only effective in the areas of our lives where we believe he's good. Think of that for a moment. If we are not sure of his goodness in this